Hey there, fellow knowledge seeker. Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where your curiosity is our challenge. Don't forget to check the description section below for some amazing travel hot deals on flights, hotels, and accommodations. Today, we're diving headfirst into some fascinating material about, you guessed it, Istanbul travel.
And it's not just about the usual tourist spots, right? We're talking about uncovering those hidden gems that make Istanbul truly magical based on all this material you've provided.
Exactly. Ever wondered about? Well, I've always wondered, is it actually possible to experience Istanbul like a local, get away from the tourist traps and really feel the pulse of the city?
That's a great question, and one we'll definitely be tackling today. We're going to look at some hyper-local neighborhoods, talk about how to navigate the city like a pro using public transportation, and even touch on some local customs that will help you blend right in.
I love it. And speaking of blending in, stick around to the end for a bonus tip about how discovering the perfect cup of Turkish coffee can actually unlock a whole new side of Istanbul.
Oh, it's true. But first, let's dive into these incredible sources you've gathered. I'm seeing everything here from travel blogs to historical accounts, even some local Istanbulian literature. It's going to be good.
It is. Okay, so to kick things off, let's talk about something that caught my eye right away.
Yeah.
I noticed in a couple of these travel blogs, there's this recurring theme of almost like a warning about getting lost in the Grand Bazaar. They make it sound like a labyrinth you could wander for days.
Right. And, there's some truth to that. The Grand Bazaar is massive, over 4,000 shops. But it's also part of the magic. Getting a little lost is how you stumble upon those truly unique finds and experiences.
Okay, so you're saying getting lost is actually part of the fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Though maybe not for everyone. That's where having some strategies comes in handy. And I've got a few tips from these sources that will let you embrace the adventure while still feeling somewhat oriented.
All right, I'm all ears. What do we got?
So, tip number one. Before you even step foot in the bazaar, take a look at a map. Even just a quick glance at the general layout can help you get your bearings.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about once you're inside and surrounded by all the sights and smells and, well, people trying to sell you things?
That's where tip number two comes in. Look for landmarks. The bazaar is full of them, historic mosques, fountains, even just particularly memorable shops. Use those as your guideposts, and you'll always be able to find your way back.
Those are some really practical tips, especially for someone like me who gets turned around pretty easily.
Me too. But you know what else I found interesting? One of the travel blogs mentioned that the Grand Bazaar isn't just one giant market, but actually a network of smaller, specialized markets within it. Like there's a whole section just for carpets, another for spices.
Wait, really? That's fascinating. So it's almost like a city within a city.
Exactly. And knowing that can make it feel a little less overwhelming, right?
Hmm.
You can focus on exploring one section at a time, maybe even seek out those hidden courtyards and tea houses that are tucked away.
Oh, now that sounds like my kind of exploring. Sipping tea in a hidden courtyard in the heart of the Grand Bazaar. That's the kind of experience I'm talking about.
Right. It's about finding those moments of peace and authenticity amidst the bustling energy. Speaking of authenticity, I did want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, experiencing Istanbul like a local. And one thing that kept popping up in these sources was the idea of venturing beyond the European side of the city.
You mean crossing over to the Asian side?
Exactly. Apparently, that's where you'll find more laid-back atmosphere, less crowded streets, and some seriously delicious food at like half the price.
Okay, I'm sold. How do we get there? What should we see? Tell me everything.
All right, slow down. We've got plenty of time to unpack all of that. But how about we take a quick break first, and when we come back, we'll delve into the wonders that await on the Asian side of Istanbul.
Sounds like a plan. Don't forget, listeners, to check out the description for those awesome travel deals while we take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Istanbul adventures.
And remember that Turkish coffee bonus tip. You won't want to miss it.
Welcome back, everyone. Now, before the break, we were just about to embark on a virtual journey to the Asian side of Istanbul.
Right, and when you think about it, it's not every day you get to say you've been to two continents in one trip.
It really is something special. So, to really get a feel for this side of the city, where should we start?
Well, one neighborhood that came up again and again was Kadıköy. It's known for its vibrant street art, lively markets, and traditional Turkish coffee houses.
I'm hearing traditional Turkish coffee houses and getting very excited about that bonus tip later on.
Don't worry, we'll get there. But yeah, Kadıköy sounds like a must visit. And for a taste of local life, there's a historic fish market there that's supposed to be incredible. Imagine fresh caught seafood right on the Bosphorus.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I was reading a blog post earlier about someone's experience at that very fish market.
Hmm.
They were saying that it's not just about buying fish, but it's a whole social event. People gather there, they chat, they have tea or coffee. It's like a microcosm of daily life in the neighborhood.
No, exactly. And that's what we're looking for, right? Those authentic glimpses into the heart and soul of Istanbul. Now, if you're interested in history, there's an area near Kadıköy called Üsküdar.
Uskudar, that's a mouthful. But it sounds interesting.
It really is. It's one of the oldest settlements on the Bosphorus and is home to some stunning Ottoman-era mosques and waterfront mansions. It's a bit more tranquil than Kadıköy, known for its peaceful atmosphere and beautiful views.
So a little something for everyone. It's striking how different these two sides of Istanbul sound, even just based on these sources.
It is remarkable, and it really speaks to the city's rich history and diverse cultural influences. And speaking of influences, we'd be remiss if we didn't touch on the food scene in Istanbul.
Oh, the food. I've heard so many incredible things.
And from the looks of these sources, it lives up to the hype. We're not just talking about Turkish delights here, although those are delicious too. There are rooftop restaurants with breathtaking views, street food stalls serving up savory snacks.
Wait, hold on. Rooftop restaurants. Do you know how long I've dreamed of dining under the stars overlooking the Bosphorus?
Well, get ready to book a flight, because apparently Istanbul has no shortage of options when it comes to rooftop dining. In fact, one blog post specifically recommended checking out the Beyoğlu district for rooftop bars and restaurants.
Beyoğlu. I'm writing that down. Okay, so we've covered hidden gems in the Grand Bazaar, explored the Asian side, and even found the perfect spot for a romantic dinner with a view. Is there anything else Istanbul has up its sleeve?
Well, you know me, I always like to save the best for last. And this next one is truly fascinating. One of the sources delved into the world of Turkish baths, or hammams. They're like these ancient spas, some dating back to the Ottoman Empire.
Okay, ancient spas. Tell me more.
So imagine this. You enter this beautiful marble-covered space. There's steam billowing everywhere, soft lighting. You relax on a heated stone slab, and then you're treated to this luxurious exfoliating scrub and massage.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
And so relaxing. I can practically feel the stress melting away.
Right. It's like a journey for both the body and the mind. And according to one travel blog, experiencing a traditional hammam is like stepping back in time and immersing yourself in centuries-old rituals.
Wow. After all this talk about Istanbul, I think I need to start planning a trip soon.
Me too. And hey, remember those travel hot deals we mentioned earlier? Don't forget to check them out in the description below.
Absolutely. Now, before we wrap up, you promised us a bonus tip about Turkish coffee. Something about unlocking a new side of Istanbul.
Right. So here's the thing about Turkish coffee. It's not just a drink, it's a cultural experience. It's about slowing down, savoring the moment, and connecting with people. Many locals start their day with Turkish coffee in a traditional coffee house. It's a chance to socialize, catch up on news. It's like their version of a morning newspaper.
I love that. So you're saying that if we really want to understand Istanbul, we need to embrace the ritual of Turkish coffee.
Exactly. Find a local coffee house, take your time, and soak in the atmosphere. You might be surprised at the conversations you overhear or the connections you make.
That's such a great tip. I'm adding that to my Istanbul bucket list right now. Well, folks, there you have it. A whirlwind tour through the heart and soul of Istanbul, from hidden markets to rooftop restaurants, ancient spas to the perfect cup of Turkish coffee. Istanbul truly has something for everyone.
And don't forget, exploring the city like a local means embracing the adventure, getting a little lost, and savoring every moment.
Couldn't have said it better myself. If you enjoyed this deep dive as much as we did, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment telling us what resonated with you, and ding that notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes. And be sure to check out those travel deals in the description below to start planning your own Istanbul adventure. Until next time, happy exploring.